is cryptocurrency holding to the fundamentals that it was originally intended for? And my argument would be it would be moving away from that in general, right? So that's kind of how I think about it. But let's go ahead and continue on. So I said, this is why I changed my incentive structure to subscriptions, because it aligns my incentive with the audience and not the coins or the miners. Hence obviously the locals over here. There were two things that I did, and I had already started moving towards this, obviously. And the reason I did it initially is because I needed additional revenue. Not going to lie, that's what I did it for. But I also didn't want to be dependent on companies that could potentially influence my opinion. There is a third reason to why we increased the cost of it. That was done because the spec mines were flooding cryptocurrencies, but that's an entire other subject that we could go into and has been covered in detail on locals. So that is how I decided to change away from sponsorships in general. And then I said that then we get into paid coins. So I do want to talk about that, but we'll address some of the chat in general. Retro Mike is trolling over here. I want to say thanks for the $50 super chat from Man Cave Tech. Thanks for everything you do, and cheers to you as well, good sir. I did see Deep Meditation Exercises says, why are you coming clean? Well, the fact is I'm not so much coming clean as I'm making it clear what we did, right? Like what's being done. I think that as far as affiliate marketing, when you get into YouTube, okay, so there's two things going on here. There's the cryptocurrency mining side of things, and then there's the YouTube side of things. YouTube, by and large, is essentially a platform for people to sell products on. That's effectively what it's turned into. So as a YouTuber, when you get into doing YouTube and you start going to, let's say, like the YouTuber meetups, etc., the first thing that they kind of get you into is affiliate marketing. They're like, if you're going to have a YouTube channel, this is what you need to do. You need to find companies that have products that align with your target audience, and then you need to basically court them, and then you need to sell items to them. And this is how you make money to run a YouTube channel. And on the face of it, nothing seems completely wrong with that until you get into the aspect of crypto in general, because as opposed to, let's say, like a standard tech channel, which there are still issues with this, or a video gaming channel or whatever it is. And we could go into, like, I have a whole theory on like why we're experiencing worse and worse products based off of this, etc. But when you're selling a product like, let's say, a GPU to a gamer, you're selling a product to do a purpose. It performs that purpose, and then it's good to go. When you're selling a financial product like a cryptocurrency miner, you're selling something with the expectation of making money. And that is, well, by and large, more and more not the case when people take on these sponsorships, right? They basically are selling items that are not ending up fulfilling their use case in the first place, which is one problem. But the second problem is that it is not a product that's fulfilling a specific purpose that's outside. It's directly tied to a financial product, right? And so I think, like we've talked about, this has been being talked about a lot in the, I guess, what would you call it? Like the MAGA influencer space. And I've been listening to people talk about that lately, where they are taking on financial product advertisements. And there's a lot more it's a lot more regulated than, say, every other affiliate form. And those regulations aren't applied to cryptocurrency. So it's a little bit of a gray area, right? Where and if you are new to the space and you don't understand any of this, right, you're going to make these mistakes, or maybe not even see that there's a problem in general. And so what I'm seeing is that there's a problem, right? And what is the problem? Well, a lot of people are losing money off of this with expectations of being able to be financially free, or it's kind of that the guise of it, right, is like, quit your 9 to 5, mine cryptocurrency, retire your, and I get a lot of its memes and whatever. But there are people that think that that's really what they're going to get out of doing these things, and that's not really necessarily the case. So I want to make it like abundantly clear to people that are coming into the space that this is something that's going on, right? Now, one of the big problems I really do have is with cryptocurrency channels that take payment in the form of the coin that they're promoting or reviewing. And the reason for this is that you're actually getting paid out in the cryptocurrency that you are promoting. And I think from an ethics perspective, this is completely wrong and abominable. The miners, I understand, because you're selling a physical product that's going to a customer. It does what it says it's going to do. It hashes it X amount for X amount of power, and you are actually getting a product. In the case of reviewing a cryptocurrency project in return for the pay in the cryptocurrency itself, you basically you introduce a lot of ethical questions surrounding when should you sell, how long should you hold, should you talk about it good or bad? And once again, this is an incentive structure problem. So let's go ahead and get into it, because I did go pretty hard on this one. I said I have never once even considered that personally, which is, okay. Don't even get me started on creators that are paid with coins from the blockchains they are reviewing. I have never once even considered that personally, and that's because it is so obviously wrong that I don't think there is any defensible reason to get paid to review a cryptocurrency. I felt bad or nervous to stand again because I wanted to work with other creators and be friendly. It's also hard that when I have brought it up, people attack me very cruelly, and I do care what people think. We could have a whole tangent on that, but that's not in this post. There's these things that I have experienced in life that because I am very empathetic, I get guilted into not speaking up against things that are wrong. Now, obviously, I am having my own therapy session here, so bear with me. And once again, we could go on a tangent there as well. Some things in my personal life have tested this recently very thoroughly, and this is my conclusion. I will no longer work with creators, YouTubers, influencers who accept sponsorships or payments to review coins or blockchains. I will also talk about them when they are doing it. I think it is important for people to know if that is the case. Additionally, I have decided that I will no longer tiptoe around the topic of ASIC affiliates. I've gotten way too many messages of stories from people who bought kaspa miners, for example, that no longer have their life savings. Sure, there is personal accountability, and of course, I could go on a tangent once again. Suffice to say, there is also influencer responsibility, which I spelled incorrectly there, but if you are an individual that is impacted negatively by these promotions, I would like to hear from you, and you can email me at inquiry@sonofatech.com. I encourage you guys to do so. I have also had you guys, I have a lot of messages. I'm going to be making a video about this because I want people to hear the side of the stories that aren't successful. It's extremely easy to be successful and be like, I'm a millionaire in crypto, when you are getting paid in the crypto to make YouTube content about it. And this means, of course, that people will see you with all of this money in your crypto wallet, and you're now a crypto millionaire, and you no longer work a 9 to 5. And emotionally, they are immediately compromised because they want to be in the position that you are in. And you are taking advantage of them emotionally to influence them to buy a coin that you didn't even buy yourself. You got given that coin by a developer or a project, and then you are influencing other people to buy it. And it is absolutely fucking disgusting. It just is, because you are essentially stealing from them. You're selling them a cryptocurrency that has no promise of utility in a lot of cases, that has no guarantee of going up, that you didn't buy, and then those people are paying you, and that's only because you made a video and you got paid in that currency. It's not okay. Now, this is a very hard line in the sand for me at the end of the day. And there are content creators that I've worked with in the past that have, gone around and tried to tippy toe around it and justify it over and over and over again. But none of the justifications are okay. Your friend Andy, for example, told me that he holds it for at least 6 months before he sells it. Not okay, right? When I talked about Vosscoin getting paid to do KY, Vosscoin and his wife immediately attacked me, trying to emotionally guilt me into not even covering the video, which I didn't even say anything negative about them. All I said was, hey, this is what's happening. People are getting paid to cover cryptocurrencies. So no, I don't think that in particular these two cases are okay. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.